take a deep breath in. As you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow any feelings of worry, stress or tension to leave your body in your outward breath. I want you to, as you breathe in, take a deeper breath than normal. And as you exhale, just allow that breath to be twice as long as it normally would, giving you the feeling that any stress and any anxiety is leaving your body in your outward breath. Elongate that breath, feeling like it's now time to let go of that stress. Breathing in and breathing out. That's right. I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine a garden, perhaps a garden from your childhood. I want you to picture that garden. Maybe there were trees in certain locations. Maybe it had a swing or toys to play with. As you breathe in and breathe out, I wonder how it might feel to imagine that you're back in that garden. You're your current age, but perhaps in a place that you haven't been to for many, many years. So as you breathe in and breathe out, I want you to imagine there is the most comfortable chair that you've ever seen. Maybe it's an armchair, maybe one of those reclining chairs. And in your mind, I want you to place this chair firmly in the middle of this garden. Breathe in and breathe out, and imagine that you're now sitting in this chair. Perhaps move it to a reclined position and just get a sense of how deeply relaxed you're starting to feel. Breathing in a resourceful feeling of relaxation and exhaling tension. I want you to imagine it's a sunny day in this garden. And I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine where any tension feels like it is in your body. There may be tension in the muscles around your eyes, perhaps in your neck or your shoulders, maybe even in your chest or around your neck, influencing the speed at which you breathe. So I want you to use that power of your imagination to imagine that any tension or stress in your body, you can imagine what it would be like to have that as ice crystals locked into your muscle tissue. Maybe you can picture them as intricate, frozen muscle tissue, perhaps things that resemble snowflakes, but locked inside your body. As you breathe in and breathe out, I want you to get a sense that the sun above is melting away that tension. There you are on that chair in that garden, breathing in and breathing out. And I want you to feel that as the sun melts away the tension, you're able to release that tension in that slow, long, outward breath, enabling you to feel deeper and deeper relaxed. And I want you to imagine that you're drifting off into a sleep inside your imagination. And that imagination is presenting you with a spiral staircase. I want you to imagine that you're at the top of this spiral staircase. And as I count down from 10 to 1, you'll imagine walking down the spiral staircase. And I want you to get a sense that this is taking you deeper into your subconscious mind. You're standing at the top of this spiral staircase. As I count 10, taking that very first step, feeling relaxation wash over you. 9, another step down the staircase. And maybe it's a wooden spiral staircase, maybe a metal spiral staircase. but get a sense of feeling your feet on the steps of the staircase. As 8, you take another step down the staircase, feeling deeper and deeper relaxed with each and every step. 7, another step down the staircase, that's right. 6, more and more relaxed now, that's it, letting go, breathing from the diaphragm, taking you deeper and deeper relaxed. That's it, 6, and then 5, halfway down the staircase, and the staircase is taking you into a forest with 2 different paths, but you're still on the staircase right now. 4, another step down the staircase, perhaps hearing the noises of forest, maybe the sound of chirping birds. 3, another step down the staircase, feeling so deeply relaxed. 2, and then 1. And imagine leaving the spiral staircase and finding that you're there in a forest, on a path, and the path diverges into 2. These paths represent 2 different futures. And I want you to imagine the most ideal future possible for you. I want you to imagine perhaps you in 5 years' time, where you'd like to be in your career, in your health, in your fitness, perhaps in other areas of your life like relationships and finances. And I want you to imagine that that future, the most desirable future, is at the end of one of these 2 paths. The path that is leading straight ahead is a path where you're doing exactly what you're doing each and every day. Your way of thinking, your habits, how much alcohol you drink. And I want you to get a sense of how probable it is that that desirable future is at the end of that pathway. So let's take a journey down that pathway. I want you to imagine that you keep drinking the same amount of alcohol that you've been drinking recently for the next 5 years. Whatever your coping strategies are, I want you to imagine whether that's procrastination or distraction or intrusive thoughts. Just imagine that carries on for the next 5 years as you imagine walking down the very first path. And I want you to notice that you are now observing your future self, perhaps 3 months from now, maybe 6 months, maybe a year. As you walk down the path, you see your future carrying on the current trajectory. I want you to imagine that in this pathway, there is a feeling that perhaps of being self-conscious, of not being worthy, that you're waiting to feel like you have sufficient confidence to do certain things. But sometimes waiting for an emotional state is like chasing a mirage. Whenever you get close, it's possible to evaluate that there are still more things that you can know or do, and that feeling of confidence just gets further and further away. So as you follow this path, you realize that that desirable life is very difficult to achieve on your current trajectory. But I want you to follow the path all the way down, 5 years into the future. And I want you to observe what life you have if you do everything as you're doing right now, following that trajectory for the next 5 years. I want you to see yourself like you're someone else. See your body shape. See your overall health, your fitness levels. See where you are in your career. See the overall levels of confidence. See what your finances look like, your friendships, your relationships. And I want you to get a sense that you don't need to do too much to have this future. You just have to carry on doing what you're doing, drinking the same amount, coping in the same ways. Doing what you're doing will take you to this future. But let's explore a different future. I want you to imagine going all the way back to that same pathway until the path splits into two. And let's explore a future where you make changes. I want you to imagine that one of these changes is that what typically you would drink in a week, you decide to start drinking 1/7 of that. So whatever you drink in a day, you make that last the whole week. And I want you to get a sense of what that would be like. Maybe you drink every night but drink less. Or maybe you just drink 1 or 2 nights a week, but still drinking less than you would normally drink. But I also want you to imagine this is a confident version of you, a version of you that isn't waiting to feel worthy or feel confident in order to do challenging things. I want you to observe a version of you that is willing to do challenging things in order to acquire the confidence. I want you to see yourself learning at a more intense speed. But perhaps in this future, you could imagine that you're dovetailing your outcomes so that you're not just learning for you, you're learning to share that knowledge with other people. And maybe that's being shared on social media or maybe in different platforms. And I want you to imagine that you decide to do that consistently, not for a few days or a few weeks, but a few years. I want you to see that because perhaps you're on camera, there's more of a desire to change your relationship with food. Maybe in this future, you don't do keto for just a few days or a few weeks. Imagine you're doing it for the majority of the time, training your body to burn fat. See this future version of you as the days turn into weeks, the weeks turn into months, the months turn into years. See yourself with a much more moderate relationship with alcohol. You already know how to budget money. This is just you budgeting your alcohol consumption. Doing less so it buys you more time, more mental clarity, more health, more energy. See what you look like after a year. Maybe you're looking slimmer, healthier, fitter. Maybe you've already launched several platforms where you're positioning yourself as a thought leader within your industry. See the months continue, follow down that path. And I want you to see that as a result of not just acquiring knowledge, but synthesizing that knowledge, converting that knowledge into value for other people, that unexpected opportunities have been presented to you, that as your status grows, as your significance increases, you don't need so much alcohol or food because you're getting your value from life in different ways. I want you to follow that path. And to begin with, perhaps, it was a struggle to go to the gym or to walk or jog, but now it's just a part of your life. Maybe in the past you used to use alcohol or other things to deal with stress and anxiety, but now exercise is your go-to way of dealing with stress or anxiety. Because life is a game with many levels. And the truly exceptional people in life don't settle at mastering level 1 or even level 2. The moment they get to a level of competency at one level, they're eager to progress to the next level in the game. Which means there's always stress and there's always anxiety. But that provides opportunities to learn, to get better, to become accomplished, and to constantly grow and move forwards. I want you to see in this pathway someone that doesn't avoid the stress and anxiety, but is willing to seek it out in order to become better. Follow that pathway all the way until 5 years in the future, 5 years of growing, of learning, of sharing knowledge, of becoming healthier, of becoming fitter. And I want you to see what that has done for your career. See what that has done for your health and wellness. Maybe see the house that you live in, the car you drive, maybe the friendships or the relationships that you have. I want you to see a life where you take control, where you do difficult things, take on challenges. Take on challenges knowing that you're not even ready for those challenges, but trusting that your mind and body will adapt to meet those challenges, and see what that looks like 5 years from now. And then I want you to compare the two different futures. A future on your current path and a future on a path where change takes place. Not challenging, complicated change, just simple changes that you can be consistent with. Trusting yourself, valuing the physical entity you call your body, stretching yourself by going out of your comfort zone, and creating value for other people by the knowledge or skills that you acquire. And then just decide, what future do you want? And decide if that's a price you're willing to pay. Because both futures have a price. The first price is all the missed opportunities. And the second price is the person you need to become and the obstacles you need to overcome to achieve that future. There's always pain in life, and now it's time to make that choice. Do you want the pain of discipline, or the more painful pain of regret? And when you decide which future you want, I want you to imagine stepping into that future and feeling how good it would feel to experience that life. The status, perhaps the financial rewards, the energy levels, the inner confidence. Step into that version of you and get to feel how good it would feel, so that you're willing to pay the price for that future. Hold on to that thought, because this can be a destiny, not a possibility. Hold on to where you feel that feeling and accept that with the choices you make, this is not a possibility. This is inevitability. Find yourself back at the beginning of that pathway where it splits into two, and decide which path you're now going to take to achieve the future that you want. Set that intention. Create an idea of your future at the end of that path. But now it's time to leave this forest. As you look behind, you can see a spiral staircase, this time going upwards. You climb up the spiral staircase, and then find yourself in a garden from your childhood, but you can see yourself perhaps asleep on a reclining chair in the middle of that garden. Imagine stepping into that version of you, so you feel like you're now in the chair. As you now realize that all of this are just thoughts within thoughts, ideas within ideas, dreams within dreams, and it's now time to return to the present. As you take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose, feel like you're now in the present. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, completely tapping into a feeling of mindfulness, optimism, and connected to the here and now in the present. As I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.